Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Unit Lost, I'm Stylosa, and today we're going to have a little bit of a chat about Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, and I came up with quite a fancy title, and that would be Diabolical Cure or Hellish Mess, that is the question. Well, I think to begin with, let's jump in with the negatives, or at least the negatives according to my opinion, because we all know everybody has their own opinion on these things. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be fairly universal. Okay, so the story, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely crap on about 500,000 different levels. It is terrible, guys. It is really terrible. Diablo 3 is not exactly known for having an amazing storyline, although to be honest, Diablo 2 that was pretty good, and even Diablo, that was pretty good. But Diablo 3, no, it was terrible. I mean, a lot of people have said, yeah, you know, that could be written by a 12-year-old and all kinds of stuff. It was very, it was poor. So, does Reaper of Souls cure that? No, it doesn't, because the Act 5 is, well, if I'm totally honest, it seemed very short to me. Like, it didn't really seem very long. The main points of the story are completely predictable by anybody with an IQ above 5. Like, I am not even joking. They are really terrible. It's a bit like with Diablo 3 when Belial, when you first come across the kid. You know he's Belial. It's like, yeah, you're Belial. We know you're Belial, sort of thing. Maybe you could say that wasn't that obvious, but in Reaper of Souls, every major plot twist is just ridiculously obvious. It's just, you know, I don't want to drop any spoilers because I know people are going to want to play through this, but it's not very good, guys. It really isn't very good. So I think, like, if you're going to be playing the game for the story, and I don't really know why you would be doing that, but I know people do like to bring things through to completion. You know, this is the latest act in Diablo 3. If you completed Diablo 3, then maybe you want to go ahead and complete Reaper of Souls. You'll be very disappointed because, honestly, unless you're running on a difficulty with some sort of insane level of torment as your first playthrough, as you're leveling, it's not going to take you very long. You know, I played on a mixture of Torment 1 and Master, and I think there was some little bits of Expert in there because, to be quite honest, I was getting pretty bored. You know, like, the only thing that was stopping me progressing was the fact that monsters were taking ages to kill, because obviously I'm, you know, fairly under-geared because I didn't play Diablo 3 to death to gear myself up to, you know, to no end. And also, like, I wasn't even max level, and I'm going through what you could argue is level 70 content, or getting up there for level 70 content. I estimate around about 3 hours, possibly 3.5 hours, and you'll complete the entire thing. And I sat there and thought, yeah, if I'd bought it just for that, I would feel extremely pissed off. I would be miffed. I would not be very happy because, yeah, that would not be very good. I mean, I think, like, also with the story, I guess this is a negative because I felt like the designers, especially of the world and of the levels, and even of the monsters to some extent, they're kind of restricted, they're kind of stifled, and I don't know why. Because there was one area where, well, in fact, there were two areas, but I'm going to show you the one area on the screen now. But that was the battering ram. This is as you're trying to... I'm not going to tell you where this is, but you're trying to smash down a massive door. You're actually on a battering ram, and I thought, well, this is pretty damn nice. You know, this is thinking outside of the box. I hate that phrase, but it is kind of thinking outside of the box. It isn't just your standard running around a dungeon, getting things done, and that's great. You were actually on a battering ram. I was like, this is pretty fancy. The other example as well is where you're kind of running through an area, and Imperius, who's the crazy angel guy, he would come down and just destroy waves of monsters and, like, say things to you like, you know, "Come on, Nephilim, you are too slow. We do not have time to linger," and things like that. That was pretty good. You know, that made me feel like, oh yeah, it's not just me rolling through another level, which I don't really give a crap about, sort of thing. So I would honestly say that Act 5, it's quite underwhelming if you're playing it for the story. Do not play it for the story. You know, it's a total waste of time. Do not even buy the game for the story. It would be a complete waste of time. I mean, there's the main cinematic you get when you actually get to Reaper of Souls. Everybody's seen this. It's on YouTube. And then that's it. There isn't really any other cinematics of any kind of Blizzard quality. You know, like the Pixar-style cinematics. There's none of that. They're just these sort of, like, almost Guild Wars 2-esque kind of custom... what would you even call this? It's not custom art. It's... oh my god, it's totally gone out of my head. But you know what I mean? Like, I can't remember... Oh my god, concept, that's it, concept art. that kind of like concept art coming to life kind of thing. Sort of like Guild Wars 2 did. You just get little bits of that, you know, with vague bits of story. It's it's pretty dire. So that pretty much covers the negatives, which you know, I think I'm pretty happy with saying I've pretty much covered them. Covered them all. You know, I'm going to say that I've covered them all, and that's fine. So where are the positives? Well, there are quite a few positives, and I think the main positive is most definitely adventure mode. This is, well, this adds an absolute shed load of replayability to the game. So, you know what? It also gives kind of like a sense of progression as well, because you kind of have a point now to what you're doing. You're no longer just going through the best, like with Diablo 3, you would load into the best area. Like, I'm not saying this is the best area, I'm sure people will correct me, but let's just say you loaded into the I think it's the Halls of Sin, or wherever the butcher, I just slapped the desk, I'm so angry. I'm not even angry, what the hell? Wherever the butcher is, and you just keep running that over and over and over again to try and get the loot. It's pointless. It's like, yeah, I'm doing it for loot, this is great, but you know, what else am I actually doing? But now with adventure mode, it says to you, look, this is the map of the region you're in. So if you're in Act 1, okay, so you're in... why is the names of everywhere just gone out of my head? You're in Act 1, okay. You can see the map, right, which shows you all of the waypoints. You can teleport instantly to the waypoints from the map, okay. And there'll be like an exclamation mark indicating that there is a monster which needs to be killed there. And when you get to the zone, so this is the bounty, okay, when you get to that area, let's say you go to, you know, the first area that's on the map sort of thing, you might be given like an extra task to do. It might say kill 100 monsters in this area, and then also find the boss and kill him as well. Right? It's not necessarily the boss, it's kind of like a special named monster you have to kill for the bounty. And when you do that, you meet those two goals, okay, you get a reward. Now, you'll get either, well, you'll get experience, I think you get gold, but you'd either get, and also you get blood shards, I believe they're called, which you can gamble, but I'll talk about them a little bit later. But you also get a Nephilim Rift shard, and I think when you get 5 of these and combine them together, you can go into a special Nephilim Rift, which is like the ultimate dungeon, and it's like, they are so good, they're amazing. But anyway, what you would do in the region is you would complete all the bounties. Once you've completed them all, okay, you're obviously going to get a lot of loot for doing this because you're killing a load of special bosses and stuff like that. You get given a special reward, like a Herodrim Box of Wonders by Tyrael. And this contains tons of loot. Like, this will just spew out loads and loads of rare items, maybe even legendaries and stuff like that, crafting materials, gold. But it also spews out the blood shard. No, it doesn't spew the blood shards out, sorry. The Nephilim Rift shards. Now, most likely, when you complete an entire bounty in one region, you will have enough Nephilim shards to make the Nephilim keystone thing, to basically open a Nephilim portal. So then you can go to the Nephilim portal. And it kind of gives you this, like, you've got this, like, self-enclosed, random, kind of ultimately replayable gameplay system where you pick a region. Let's say we want to go to Act 4 for whatever reason. We fancy Act 4 today. We do all of the bounties, okay, which is, I think it's 4 or 5 bounties or so. We get enough shards then to do the Nephilim Rift. We go into, which is, the Nephilim Rift is way more difficult than the bounties actually are. And then you do that, and then you get the rewards from that. And it's kind of like, that is a play session there of maybe, I don't know, I'm going to say for the average player, probably 2 hours of play there. I know people are going to power through this and do it really quick and all the rest of that stuff. But that's 2 hours of play. And if you go back to what I said about the actual, the story in Act 5, and how little that really was, and how that was maybe 3.5 hours, 4 hours at a push. If this adventure mode system gives you 2 hours of, like, random, replayable, you know, a massive loot fest, which does test your ability, that is amazing. And it's like, to me, that's what Reaper of Souls is about. Actually, let me just explain what the blood shards do, because I don't think I did. I did say I was going to jump onto them, so or onto that later. You get a number of blood shards when you complete a bounty, and you can spend the blood shards at a special merchant for a chance of getting an item. Now, it could be bad, it could be good. That's kind of the gamble of the blood shards. I'm not too sure if you can spend them on anything else at the moment. You may be able to, but I'm not sure. Maybe they've got plans in the future to kind of expand that system, I don't know. But it's kind of a gamble. You know, it's like, am I actually going to get anything good? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. You might do. But then Diablo 3 kind of is a gamble anyway at heart. I mean, you're just going around killing things for the chance of better loot, which will then take you, you know, you'll be able to up the difficulty of the game to then have a better chance at more better loot to progress to the next level, kind of thing. So I'm really like I'm really impressed with that, and I would say just for adventure mode alone, the game is most definitely worth a purchase, because if you are a loot whore, if you're going to play the game like that, and if you don't mind randomised stuff and you're not really too interested in the story, you will be very happy with the adventure mode. It's just so great. Now the other positive is the new class, the Crusader, which I think is a damn good class. Now I was actually having a laugh with a couple of friends, and we were saying, like, you know what, you can kind of compare this to League of Legends. Whenever they release a new champion, it's usually slightly OP, has the best visuals and all kinds of stuff, and everybody wants to play it, kind of thing. And it's kind of like that with the Crusader, and I don't mind it too much in Diablo, because, you know, it's not a competitive PvP game, is it, sort of thing. But the Crusader is a damn fun class. I mean, I'm really like I'm a sucker for sword and board characters, and the Crusader is literally a sword and board. I like the look of heavy armor, big weapon, heavy armor, big shield, sort of thing. Whereas the Barbarian, for me, that is kind of my main Diablo class. I don't mind it as such, but I never really get that feeling of being like totally like a wall of steel sort of thing. It's more of the crazed berserker type of thing, which I don't mind. Obviously, that's what a Barbarian, I guess, is. But yeah, the Crusader, I'm quite looking forward to leveling the Crusader, if I'm totally honest. So yeah, I would say, guys, that Reaper of Souls is an awesome expansion if you're obsessed with loot and don't mind running endless randomized dungeons, which, like I said before, I guess you could argue is the essence of Diablo. I know that's why I'm playing it, you know, and I'm having a really good time doing it, and I'm probably going to have a good time doing it for the next few months, at least, maybe even the next few years, depending on how they develop, and I think actually they're bringing in ladders and stuff, which is going to be really interesting as well, because it would be nice to be competitive with adventure runs and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, it is worth it, guys. But if you are in the camp of, I want to play this game, and I'm only going to play it once through Act 5, because I just want to finish the story off, and you go ahead and pay full price for that, you will be very disappointed, because you are literally getting a couple of hours of gameplay, and that's it. And it's like, well, is that it? I'm not very happy with that. If you're on the other camp and you want to play Diablo for kind of the game, you know, it is, which is the loot fest, the endless replayability, Reaper of Souls gives you all of that, and I think it does a really damn good thing. So I guess in answer to the crazy question I put forward at the start, is this a Diabolical Cure or a Hellish Mess? I think it is a pretty good Diabolical Cure. Although, like I said, if you're in for the story, you're not really going to enjoy it, guys. So I've been Stylosa, guys. This has been me talking about Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. Make sure you comment below, you know, rate the video, all the rest of that stuff. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next time, people. Toodaloo.